The 2021 season previews continue today with the New York Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers. I've got a history with them. As you can tell, I'm a Flyers fan. Dozens of pennants, dozens of jerseys, dozens of shirts, dozens of pucks, everything Flyers. But we're going to talk about the Rangers. And I have a good history with the Rangers on this YouTube channel. So my second most popular video is talking about the Rangers. So hopefully this video does well. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. The Rangers. This should be the season that they start contending for the playoffs. It should be. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of things happen between then and now. But this season should be the season that they begin to contend for the playoffs. So, let's get into their key departures, their key arrivals, look at last season, their projected lineups, and ask ourselves the question we always ask, do they make the playoffs? But first off, if you're new to the channel and have not already subscribed, please make sure to do that. I would really, really appreciate it as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the beginning of next year. I'd really appreciate it. We got a couple months to do so. And hey, we're only, 65 away. So we've been really gaining a lot of subs lately. I really would appreciate it if you subscribed. And yeah, I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get into the preview. So last season for the New York Rangers was not a good season, but it wasn't really a bad season either. It was kind of in the middle, to be honest. If they really didn't have that bad first start to the year, they probably would have made it. They were 27, 23, and 6 with 60 points, and they finished 16th in the NHL, and they missed the playoffs. That's actually solid. Being 16th and missing the playoffs is actually really, really solid. I got to give credit to them. They didn't miss by that much, to be honest, but then Boston started running away with that 4th spot, and eventually they passed them with the Islanders, and the Islanders were just too far ahead for the Rangers to catch them, and they missed out. They really didn't have any advantage with them because, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't get paused because of COVID. I think every other team in that division did. I might be wrong on that, but, when I look at that, I'm like, all right, so it really wasn't their fault. They kind of just, they kind of lost games they should have won, and, other teams had games in hand. So it was a whole process this season, but we won't need to worry about that in the next season because next season actually is going to be really interesting for the Rangers. So their key departures list for your New York Rangers, consists of Pavel Buchnevich. Now, the Pavel Buchnevich thing, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with this one because this one kind of strikes me. The Buchnevich thing, I know people were complaining about it. Oh, you could have gotten more back for him. The thing is, if you wanted to get more back for him, that costs money. You're going to need more money. And the reason why, or at least the reason why I think they traded him out, was because they're going to have to pay out Blackwell, what? It's because he's on the screen here. And they're going to have to pay out Capo Caco, and then after that, Alexis Lafreniere. So having a contract like Pavel Buchnevich, it's not going to work out. So they kind of avoided trading him earlier because they have no idea what's going to happen. They have no idea. Buchnevich could be the worst player on the Rangers next season if he was playing, and his value could be so low that you couldn't even trade him, and that would be a problem if you're trying to sign Kako. So they obviously had to move him out. Sure, you could have gotten more for him, but I think Sammy Blais is a very solid option for the bottom 6 there. They also lost some guys in Colin Blackwell, Brendan Smith, Philip DiGiuseppe, Brett Howden, and then they lost a legend. Not really a legend. He's infamous in New York. Tony DeAngelo. The DeAngelo situation, the racism, the Georgiev drama, the Kako, all that stuff. We're not going to get into that today, but he's gone. So I think it's over. We may get some more stuff when DeAngelo retires and goes on a Spit and Chicklets podcast and talks about all the BS he's done. I know that's coming. But, yeah, it's over, at least for now. So you won't need to worry about it unless when the Rangers play the Hurricanes. That's going to be a crap show. Oh, God. So in the Rangers' key arrivals, it was really just the players that they needed to solidify the team, to make the team, solid. And, they were missing a lot. They were missing some things that they needed, and they got them. They acquired Sammy Blais from the St. Louis Blues and the Buchnevich trade, as we mentioned. A solid bottom 6 forward. I think he's definitely going to thrive with the Rangers. They also acquired from the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions Tampa Bay Lightning, Barclay Goodrow. And the Goodrow thing, I've seen people say, oh, that's a way overpay. He's only good because he's on Tampa. And I've seen people say, oh, that is a definite underpay. He's the best player on the team now. I'm in the middle. I think it's a good contract. Term always scares me. I think he got 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. So the term always scares me, of course. But take away what you will. The Gaudreau thing, I actually really like. I love the way Gaudreau plays. That Blake Coleman, Barclay Gaudreau, Yanni Gourde line is one of the most entertaining lines I've ever watched in hockey. So I absolutely do think that Gaudreau is most definitely going to thrive. Probably playing top 6 minutes with the Rangers. It really depends on where the Rangers go because they have a lot of depth. And, it's going to be different. So they also have Ryan Reeves as well they acquired from the Vegas Golden Knights. Excuse me. That one's interesting because with Ryan Reeves, we saw the Tom Wilson thing happen. I talked about it on here. The Tom Wilson thing, they didn't have enough, they didn't have physicality, they didn't have fighters on the team to really fight Tom Wilson. And, guys like that, now they do, because they're going to have Tony DeAngelo, I know. And they're going to have Tony DeAngelo, they're going to have Tom Wilson, they're going to have other guys coming at them. And now that they have Ryan Reeves, Reeves will defend those young guys. Absolutely. He'll defend everyone on the team. So I think that was the one piece that the Rangers really needed to becoming a contender. They also acquired Patrick Nemeth, some solid defense. And another guy who also fought Tom Wilson as well, Jared Tenorti. So you got Jared Tenorti and Ryan Reeves, two guys who have had history with Tom Wilson. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting next season. It's going to be very entertaining watching Caps Rangers games. So mark your calendars. They also acquired Greg McKegg as well, another good depth option. But yeah, that's really their key arrivals. And I think it was really just, this was the offseason to get the team into final contention and, just the final pieces to glue it all together. So that being said, let's move into the projected lineup for your New York Rangers. Starting off on the top 6, you have Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Kaapo Kakko for your first line. Then you have Alexis Lafreniere, Ryan Strome, and Vitaly Kravtsov for your second line. So let's review that top 6. First line, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Kakko. That is very solid. Kakko has had problems scoring points before. I think on that first line, he's most definitely going to get more than he has been. Absolutely. I can't imagine he doesn't. So I look at that and I'm like, all right, so good deal. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if it works out. As for the second line, Lafreniere should take a step up from next season. If he doesn't, that's a big problem. You're going to have to look at that. Strome, obviously, another solid second-line center who is going to be great. And Kravtsov as well is going to play his first full season with the Rangers. I'm excited to see how he does, too. As for the bottom 6, it's Barclay Goodrow, Philip Chatil, and Ryan Reeves. Then you have Chris Kreider, Rooney, and then Sammy Blaze. And then you have Gauthier and Hunt as your fill-in guys for the main forwards there. So, bottom 6 is solid. You have Goodrow there. He's going to play very solid. Chatil as well. Solid on the center core. And then you have Ryan Reeves as well as that grit. Kreider on the fourth line. That wing core is very stacked. If I was to see anyone get moved out from the Rangers, to be honest, I would imagine it is probably going to be Chris Kreider. So let's get into the defense now. The defense, very stacked. There is a lot of players here to look into. First pairing, I think, is going to be K'Andre Miller and Adam Fox. Then you have Patrick Nemeth and Jacob Trouba. Then you have Ryan Lindgren and Nils Lindquist. Then you have Jared Tenorti, Libor Hajek, Anthony Boteto, and Zachary Jones as your fill-in guys there for the Rangers defense. Solid. That is very good. The first pairing, young, but I think it's going to be very effective. Absolutely. I think Miller, he didn't play a lot this season, but I think he's going to take a big step up from where he was in the last season when he played. Fox, obviously, is Fox. He won the Norris Trophy. So I'm interested to see how he's going to do. Nemeth playing second pairing. That's interesting. I think he's going to do well with Trouba most definitely. And then Lindquist is going to start off his career on the third pairing with Ryan Lindgren. So I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to go. And of course, Tenorti will probably only come in the lineup when they're playing the Canes or the Capitals. So there you go. And of course, we'll see Hajek Potato and Jones play at times this season, but mostly they'll probably be minor players as well. As for the goaltending, you have Igor Shesterkin and Alexander Georgiev, and then of course you have, I don't have him here, but you have Keith Kincaid as your third goalie. So, solid. Love to see it. I'm looking at that and I'm like, all right, so everything looks good. Just about everything. I like the top six. I like the bottom six. I like the depth. I like the defense, all three pairings, and the guys below them. I like the goaltending. Yeah, there's not a damn thing that I don't like about this team. And by Nordic 97 standards, not a lot of teams can say that. So that is good. I think this team is ready. I genuinely do. There may be, I don't know, there may be a few tweaks they have to make before the season starts. There may be something that goes down, but I think this team's ready. Absolutely. And now on to your final question for the New York Rangers. Do they make the playoffs? That's the question. Yup. I have them make the playoffs. I might have had them making it last year. I cannot remember. But I have them definitely making it this year. Definitely. I can't imagine they don't. Genuinely. I look at the roster. I have no problems with it at all. I like the top six. I like the bottom six. I like the depth. I like the blue line. I like the goalies. I like everything. I think this team is, I don't want to say a super team, but it's a very good team. And we're going to see this team likely finish top 3 in the Metro. Likely. I might jinx that, but likely finish top 3, maybe even top 2 in the Metro. It's possible they finish first, but I think Carolina's going to take that. Anything can happen. So we're going to all see it all unfold in next season. Let me know what you guys think about this Rangers team in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. For our support as later, really do appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. I'll give you a kiss and a cookie. And a cookie. Definitely a cookie. Maybe not a kiss because COVID. And thank you all for watching. For our support as late, I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.